fully upgraded Classic Mini Cup. Hello there everybody and welcome to OpenFed Gaming. You're listening to the OpenFed. We are driving in the Classic Mini Cup, which is a Rookie Specials event in our rookie season. We're driving the Mini Miglia and we're driving it through the streets of London, England on the Westminster Loop. We're doing 5 laps. We're driving during the day in a stormy, rainy day. And we started 18th of 22 and we promptly got pushed back to number 22 of 22, which is the back of the pack. Now for those of you who don't know, the Mini Miglia is a powerful little modified Mini. It has a 1.3 liter A-series engine that's capable of producing 130 horses. It's got a low ride and a stiff suspension for excellent handling. Since the late 1960s, they've often been referred to as the mini touring cars. Now, 5 laps is quite a few laps, plus these laps are not short. They're going to take a little while. So we got lots of time. This very first lap, I think we should just kind of take stock of how erratic the guys are going to drive, how chaotic. We are driving in Grid Legends, and I always like to remind people, which really basically includes reminding myself, that to watch out for anybody wiping out in front of you, spinning out, hitting a wall, or hitting another car. Because when they do, especially at the beginning of the race, they can take out 1, 2, or 3 cars behind them. So be careful of that and keep an eye out for anybody doing the wipeout in front of you. Now another thing I've used to be famous for is I used to try and win races like this in the first lap. And you just can't do that. That's just not a sensible way of driving. So lately what I've been doing is I've been spreading my attack over the full laps of the course. So if you got 20 cars to pass and you got 5 laps, let's try and pass 4 cars per lap. Now you do got to watch out for the bumping and rubbing. These guys do like to bump into you, and they hit you once in a while. But as long as you try to keep it clean and you don't get too excited and don't try to hit anybody back, everybody pretty well drives their own race. Now if you get chaotic and erratic, they will try and hit you on purpose. So that's not really a fun aspect of the game as far as I'm concerned. So I always try to keep it as clean as I can and just run the race the best way you can. Now we have already dumped from number 22 down to number 10, which is really good. We've passed 12 cars and we are just now finishing our first lap right over here. So we got a long ways to go, and some of these guys are going to come back and pass me, and then I'm going to pass them again. It's going to go back and forth a little bit, but like I said, we got quite a bit of time for each lap. They take quite a bit of time to run, so we can play around a little bit and watch to see how they all drive and try to use the track to our advantage the way we can. In the meantime, we just catch up to the next guy. Don't get too excited. When we have an opportunity like here, we have a little bit of room, so if you have the throttle, if you are close enough behind them, you can try and get by them. If not, just stick with them. You know, we got lots of time. Stick with them until we get to a little wider section of the track that's straight, and I know there's a few in here. I believe there's one coming up right here. Yeah, nice straight section. So if you have the throttle and you were right behind somebody, when you come around a corner, you usually catch 1 or 2 guys napping and get ahead of them like I did. So we're really ahead of the game now because we're only about halfway through the second lap and we've only got 5 cars left to pass. So we're sitting pretty good. As long as we don't let any of the cars from behind us slip by us, and they do continuously push you. If you can look in the rearview mirror, they're there, and sometimes they get a little closer, sometimes they back off a little bit depending upon how fast you're pushing it, how hard you're pushing it. So all we can do is just keep up to the guys in front of us, and if we can't get by them, it doesn't matter how close the guys behind us are going to get because there's not much we can do about it. So here, when you do try to pass these guys, if you try to go around them on the outside of a turn, it's pretty tough to beat them because these guys are all pretty quick. Yeah. Except for there, I managed to get by 2 of them. But usually they're pretty good, pretty quick, and you can't pass them or beat them on the outside. You got to cut them on the inside. On the straight stretches, they're pretty zippy and they're hard to catch up to. But that's what we got to do. We got to catch up to them first before we can pass them. Now we've only got 3 cars in front of us, and that's the other good thing. If you got cars in front of it, if you can see them, and I can see all 3 of them, then we know exactly where the lead car is and where we have to be to win the race. So we don't have to get too excited. He's not too far ahead of us. So we got lots of time. You know, plus the other thing that's kind of nice is if you got a car in front of you, he's going to set the pace for you. Now these guys are setting the speed pace. I don't have to go any faster than they go. And I can wait right until the last lap before I pass them, you know. Or I can pick one off and get a little closer to the front, but I don't have to worry about it too much because car number 1 is within reach, and that's what it's all about. My problem is if I pass all 3 of them right now, I'd have over 2 laps that I got to try and lead and stay ahead of everybody. Now, 1 lap, okay. 2 to 2.5 laps, I'm not so sure. I prefer to be behind somebody so I can chase the car down rather than be the one that people are chasing. Because I've been known before not to pay attention to my rear view mirror. And I've been leading, and then in the last lap, I've had cars pass me, and I've even lost races because of that. So I try to employ a little bit of a different strategy, stay close to the front 1, 2, or 3 cars, and near the end of the race, when the opportunity presents itself, that's when we go zipping by, not before. Every once in a while they go so slow around a corner you just can't help, and you go, okay, that's it, I'm not following you any longer, now you can follow me. But these guys are pretty good. They're ripping along, not bad, you know. So, and when they get a little bit ahead of you, they're kind of hard to see too, for the little plume of water coming up from behind them. It's hard to see the car itself, so then it becomes a little hard to judge exactly how far ahead of you they are. So we don't let that happen. Oh, well, he blew something on his engine, and I think his race is over. See, and that's another thing. That happens all the time. And when that happens, you know, if I would have tried to pass him earlier on and got into a problem, I could have just waited and avoided that whole problem, which is what I did. So sometimes you're better off to have a little bit of patience. You know, we're coming up here near the end of the 3rd lap, so we still got 2 laps to go. You've seen how long they are. They're not going to get done 1, 2, 3, so we'll just stick with these guys. You know, they're not that far ahead of me, and they're both close by. They keep exchanging the lead. One time the one guy is leading, and the next time the other guy's leading. So they're pretty well all together. But here we've got a car passing us. Now, there's really no need to get excited about it. I always just let them go. If they want to go, just go. I'm going to keep going the same speed and stick with the 2 front, because we'll get these guys back again. But you cannot drop too far back, because if you drop too far back, now our track is starting to run out. When we get to that last lap, we want to make sure we're in the front 2 or 3 vehicles when we get to the last lap. And we're almost there, so we gotta start pushing a little bit and get ahead of these 2 that just passed us not that long ago, and then we'll take care of those other 2. Hopefully. We don't know if that's going to work, but that's the plan so far. So around this corner, I believe, is that straight section again. Ah, yes, nice wide open track, nice and straight. Hit the left-hand side, and we got those 2 out of the way. And now we're back up in front, or in front of those 2, but behind the 2 that were leading the pack from earlier. So we're back in the same place without getting chaotic or driving a little wild. We kept our cool and had a little bit of patience, and we made out okay. So now we're coming up here and we're bringing this fourth lap to a close fairly quickly, and then there's only one left to go. So we got to try and see, these guys keep changing lead, and when they do that, they pass each other and they take up a decent amount of the width of the track. So you got to keep an eye out for that too. You know, it's a lot of different things to watch, but every once in a while, see, like here, he wasn't paying attention, so I caught him on the inside, but that puts me back on the outside over here, and then it pushes me back behind him again. But the Opafet's not giving up. We're not done yet. We still got one lap left to go, and we want to be the winner at the end. And as we come around the corner here, that fourth lap is almost done. Now we're gonna get ahead of him, and he's starting to take off now. This guy in front of me, Jacob Winters. He's about just over a half a second ahead of me, and he's starting to take off. So he's starting to separate from the pack. See, and he was doing exactly what I was doing, following that lead car, using him as a pace car. And then when we get close to the end of the race, that's when you want to start creating a little bit of a buffer zone between you and the car behind you. Now, Jacob is gonna fall prey to his own strategy when we catch up to him here pretty quick, and we're gonna have to pass him because we can't take too much more time, can't wait too much longer, because with every second that goes by now, it's going to get harder to get by him or harder to catch up to him as the track is coming to a close. So we know that we got that wide open section again, that nice straight section at the end here pretty quick, and that might be the most perfect place to pass him. Right over here. Cut him on the inside. Come on, baby, let's go. Rip by him over here. We have the room, we have the length, the straight section, but do we have the speed? Well, it's a battle between the minis, but the Opafet's going to come out ahead. So now we're ahead of him. We got about half a lap to go, which is still quite a ways, you know. So we got to make sure that now that we're ahead of him, we got about, what is it, just under a second lead. We just over a second now. We got to drive it clean. Don't run into any walls now, because now it becomes crucial that you make sure you make it to the finish. Because if you run into something, those two guys, oh, like right there, he's still trying to get ahead of me. And if I run into something, I'd be done, because he'd be by me so fast it would make my head spin. Well, we're going to push him back behind us again, and we're going to try and push it a little harder now and get to that finish line. We're almost there. We've got a very short piece of track left to go. Boy, what a cool race this was. Even in the rain, it was awesome. Really enjoyed this one. If you liked it too, give us a thumbs up. We'll see you back here again next time at Opafet Gaming. You have a great rest of your day, and you enjoy it. You've been racing with the Opafet.